welcome to part 2 of the My Vinyl Revolution podcast. Getting excited about My Vinyl Revolution Record Fair happening at the Capital Brewing Co. over there at Dairy Road in Fyshwick here in the ACT. And of course, 11:30 till about 4, that's when that will be happening. And it's exciting because it's the first one of this fresh new year for 2025. And Erica is on the line as we continue to discuss what's been happening. Now, we spoke about some really cool bands and some artists that we've shown and what you're going to bring. We'll talk about some other great features that you'll be bringing down, but another band I've got for you, which I've discovered over the Christmas period, The Who. Now, not The Who. Not The Who you're thinking of.
Who are The Who?
HU. Mongolian band that they're basically theatrical metal, but with the throat singing inclined through the mix with the traditional Mongolian, that violin instrument. I don't know exactly what that instrument's called. I'll go and check that out. But they've got that in there. Theatrical metal sounding, chanting stuff all the way through to almost folk to kind of like pop rock now. And their latest release have got a wonderful array of special guests like Serge Tankian from System of a Down and some of the boys from Alice in Chains. Huge audience in Australia. They just recently toured our shores, and the reason being is they were in Australia during COVID and got stuck here in lockdown, and we're here for nearly the whole year. And they actually created a YouTube cooking channel. God love them. So a huge interest in Australia, which they have Australia as a special place, but their music, they package themselves as like this dark metal band, but there is so much colour to their band, and the vinyl releases actually have a second LP with acoustic renditions of some of their hits, but still have the throat chanting in there, the violin work in there, and it just becomes beautiful folk music. HU, The Who.
That actually does go back to the last one of the topics we were talking about in the previous podcast. You know, that confluence between world music and hard rock or heavy metal, however you call it. I think it's a really new frontier of music. And, you know, I think when bands mature in their musical tastes, they want a change. They want to experiment with new sounds, styles, techniques, all that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Huge instrumental vibe to their music as well. And all those traditional instruments that they have in there too. So the throat singing and obviously the toshfor, which is basically that big violin piece. And it's just it's fun, and it's just drama and illustration in their music, which just becomes so alive. So, you know, and even if you're not listening on vinyl, which turns it into a whole experience, just in a long kind of road trip somewhere and having it through whatever means through your car stereo is just another thing as well, you know, that just gives you that experience. But obviously it is a vinyl podcast, and we love how vinyl really projects these kinds of bands. We mentioned Goat earlier, and also, you know, The Who, which is a huge, large, layered sound. And there's, you know, you need to have a really strategic way how you mix the throat coming through, that throat singing coming through, how you mix those kind of violins and those string instruments over the heavy guitars and drums, but they do it, and they do it well.
Interesting. So
do yourself a favour.
What's that?
To quote the old Molly Meldrum, do yourself a favour and go and check out The Who, and from our previous podcast, go and check out The Goat. They're my 2 hot tips for this week.
Oh, that sounds so great. Yeah, look, it's great to be prepared when you go to a record fair. If you have an idea of what you're after, or you want to experiment with some new music. But as far as, you know, your classical, or not classical, the genre, but your classics that you find in the crates, we've got everything from Red Hot Chili Peppers to Fleetwood Mac to, you know, new unknown Melbourne bands. This time round we're bringing a pod of collectible 45s. So yeah, usually, I mean, it just depends on, you know, what we're able to process before each fair. But we recognize that in Canberra, there's a real thirst for collector formats and collector titles. Yeah. So the 45s that we're bringing are from every decade, from the 50s through to now. But, you know, with our taste in music, they're more likely to be beat, garage, psychobilly, psych, hard rock, things that you probably wouldn't find in your garage sale or your secondhand shop or even your local record store, because we curate a pod together for that type of collector. So that might be interesting for people who, have an idea about what they're after and they collect 45s.
Yeah,
But
wow.
again, Capital Brewing Company, that event is so great because even if you just want to pop over for lunch, you can have a burger from Broad, you can have a bevy. They've got heaps of different flavors at the bar, and you can bring your pets as well. That's the reason why I like Capital Brewing is, dog. It's very dog friendly and kid friendly as well.
And I love it. I love it that those events, though, but the great collaboration between Capital Brewing and My Vinyl Revolution, where I did some interviews with some hunty collectors last
That
week.
was fun.
And we had a whole family there. And then the dad got into Fleetwood Mac and a great diversity with, Black Sabbath and some great stuff. And then the lovely mother, went out and picked up some Mariah Carey Christmas, and then we had the son picking up some Eminem and some Dr. Dre, and then the diversity there of their tastes, but they all were there for the one reason, and it was for that collecting of vinyl, and it brought families together.
Right. Yeah, and that's what you can find at the
experiences.
bigger type of record fair. Yeah, it's not just a retail experience, I guess I can say. But even if you don't know what you're after and you want to come with some friends, we've got bargain hunter crates, and you can find gems there from $10 to $35.
Wow.
Like, it's not a big investment to buy a record, but it is a journey that you start from any particular point. So, it's not really around the concept of how much something costs. It's more about the experience.
Totally.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. It really is. I've got another one for you.
Yeah.
Here, we're bringing a copy of the Cool Out Sun album. And Cool Out Sun is a Melbourne group that's been published by Northside Records. So Chris is a friend of ours in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fanatic for Afro and local Melbs bands. And this Cool Out Sun album is titled A Lion is a Lion.
Wow.
And this is so, so, so good. This was an end of last year or maybe beginning of this year release, but it has Sensible J and Nafar Jones in it, or Nafar Foster Jones. So Nafar was the frontman of the ARIA winning band 1200 Techniques.
Yes.
Do you know who they are?
Yes, of course.
Oh, they're so good. I mean, they sold tens of thousands of albums.
Yes.
But these two, they created this album through lockdown, through COVID times, and they released it. Oh, it took a while to release, but the tracks on here are just unbelievable. They're it's like a turning point for the two of them, and through that hiatus and the pandemic constraints, the music became kind of therapeutic, and there was a whole genre of therapeutic lockdown music that got released and performances online, and it really changed the nature of music. But they created 50 beats in 50 days.
Wow.
And this creative explosion, like, it's seriously good local music, Australian music, and we really champion that too. It bridges like hip hop, Afrobeat, and roots. So it's got that West African rhythm, but it's got contemporary electronic elements from Sensible J's MPC driven beats, and the vocals on it are just superior. Like the rhyming is next level good, and it's all about their personal storytelling, reflecting on ancestry, loss, and life cycles. Because I think one of them, maybe it was Sensible J, had a baby during the time. Lots more babies got born through the pandemic, didn't they? So this album also has guesting by Sampa the Great, and the track would be Oh Hell Yeah, that you if you want to listen to that. And then, look, just listen to the album. It's hard to find if you don't know about it, but we are bringing a copy to the Capital Brewing Company Record Fair on the 9th of February.
These are the kinds of gold gems that you can find at the Capital Brewing My Vinyl Revolution Record Fair, of course, happening February 9, Capital Brewing Co., Derry Road Fish Week. Any last words for our Canberrans to get excited about this new record fair, the first one for 2025?
Yes, we've got heaps of fresh stock. We've got heaps of new titles. And also we're bringing copies of The Cure, Songs of a Lost World, their 16th album that was released at the end of last year. And I don't need to explain to Cure fans why they need this, but, you know, if you want to catch up on The Cure, every release that they've had is amazing. And this new release is no different. Yeah, we love Robert Smith. We love The Cure. We're bringing it. Any last words? Be there early and be keen and have fun.
We'll see you there.